Good evening, party peeps. It is Andrew, and I am coming at you from my office here in horrible light because Joy has a really good light downstairs doing her thing. Anyways, I wanted to come here because I actually I was trying to start my computer up, and my computer immediately said, we can't come up. You need to restart. We're collecting data. Something was a failure. And it got me thinking about something I said a couple days ago that I never actually expounded upon here. And that is, when was the last time you failed at something? I'm hoping it's been recent, and I'm hoping it's something you remember, and I'm hoping I can get better light in this place because it's horrible right now. Anyways, that's even worse. Anyways, my point on that is failure is a good thing. I don't know when in our society we decided that failing was a bad thing. The bad word should be quitting. There is a huge difference between failing and quitting. Quitting is when you simply decide you don't want to do anything anymore, or you decide that it's not worth doing to begin with. And that's a big one, especially in the Bowen genes. I'm very guilty of this. If I don't think I'm going to be successful at something, it's very hard for me to start doing something. Belief is a huge thing for me. I see that very much resonated in my oldest son, Charlie. You know, if he doesn't think he's going to be successful, he does not want to even bother because he wants to win. He wants to succeed. But when you think of the truly major accomplishments in most people's lives, it is not about succeeding. It's about not quitting. It's the only way I can put it. I'll use an example in my own life, and I don't necessarily recommend this specific approach, but it's a great example. For those of you that don't know, I'm a second-degree black belt in American karate. I love martial arts, and we'll get back to how that wraps in the story in a little bit. But for my black belt test and a black belt test in general is one of the hardest physical things you'll ever go through, and it should be. I wouldn't change mine for just about anything. My black belt test nearly killed me, and I don't say that lightly. I mean that literally. I had a heart condition I didn't know about, and I had decided before I ever entered that test that I was not going to quit. I knew it was going to be hard. I actually decided 2 years before that test to start diligently working to get in shape to survive that test. I'd seen so many people before me do the test and fall off and, wither to half the fighter they actually were normally. And I didn't want that to happen to me. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the way a black belt test works, it is one day is nice and peaceful. It's your board breaks and your verbal exam, and you do all your katas, which are your forms, which are great. Those were easy. That was nice and calm. The second week is when things start to get violent. Remember, it is a martial art, martial being the fighting portion of it, which is actually my favorite part of it. But anyways, in the second half of the test, you go through all of your self-defenses, you go through all of your sparring rounds, then you go through multiples rounds until you're ultimately proven yourself worthy of the black belt rank. In what is truly a sadistic ritual, you get to choose your opponent. Well, I chose one guy. He goes, "Oh, I knew you were going to pick me." I said, "Fine, step back up." I picked the biggest guy in the room at that point. As soon as he attacked me, I felt my heart rate spike. I attributed it to the adrenaline rush that was coming through, but it never really came back down. Now, in hindsight, I realized that it happened to me before. But what hadn't happened before was the next 2 hours. And that was attack after attack after attack after attack of trained black belts with either weapons or not weapons, with a sensei who was saying how he wanted you to defend and counter with a takedown, then grappling rounds, and then after all of that, we get to sparring. And the sparring is 15 2-minute rounds with a 30-second break in between. And the rounds have to be at a black belt level. If they're not at a black belt level, they don't count. You got to do another one on there. So I went through this process, and my son was my corner man. My wife was there. Joy was there. And they watched me, I don't know if I want to say slowly or steadily, but degrade. I went from being about a 7 out of a 10 to a 5 out of a 10 to a 4 out of 10 to, by the end, drunk boxing. I literally, my last round, my 16th round, I fell down 3 times, and the other person I was sparring never threw a punch or a kick. I've seen the video. But my point of all this is you can do more. And just decide right now, when whatever it is you're doing that's hard, don't quit. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not get it perfect the first time. It's okay to have to learn lessons. It's okay to take that failure and bring that into your life to understand, okay, what do I learn from that? How do I get better from that? How do I make sure I do more? Thomas Edison, 10,000 attempts at a light bulb before what he finally patented. 10,000! 999,000 failures before he actually got one that was a viable solution. Those types of examples are everywhere. And I don't want to go too much on the soapbox, but in today's world of everyone gets a trophy, and everything's nerfed up, that's not reality. The reality is we're not going to get things right the first time, more than likely. Think of the last time you started a workout program. How uncoordinated did you feel doing the first workout? I remember the first time I did hammer and chisel balance. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know what to do. Or the first time we did shift shot speed 35 with the shoot the gap. There was literally a conversation on Facebook of coaches diagramming how to actually do shoot the gap. All of us failed. I hope none of us quit. Most of us didn't quit. So this idea of we've got to get it perfect the first time is simply not right, especially when it comes to our health. Every day is a new chance to get it right for your health. If you haven't quit, don't quit. Sure, you may have failed that day. Sure, you might not have been perfect that day. Is that actually failing? Is not being perfect failing? Think about that one for a little bit. But as you go through this, I want you to give yourself grace. You should give yourself grace. I also want you to hold yourself to a higher level. No one can hold yourself more accountable to high performance than you can. Decide in advance what it is you're going to accomplish, whether that's in your work life, whether that's in your personal life, whether that's in your spiritual life, whether that's in your family life, in parenting, whatever it is. Decide what it is you're going to do, and then let nothing stop you from doing it. Doesn't mean there won't be obstacles. It doesn't mean there won't be roadblocks. It doesn't mean there won't be things that get in the way where you have no idea how you're going to have to go around them. But find a way around them. Keep trying. The only thing that can stop you from doing that is actually quitting. So here's what I want to know from you guys. I want to know, when was the last time you failed at something? Truly, flat out, just it didn't work. It can be parenting, it can be in your spiritual life, it can be a cooking disaster, it can be whatever. When was the last time you failed? Not quit. Because to fail means that it didn't work and you tried again. So tell me that. I'd love to hear it in the comments. When was the last time you failed at something, and what did you do the next time you tried? Okay, I hope that's a little bit for my philosophical Tuesday for you to be able to chew on. We love you guys. I hope you guys are all doing well. We'll talk soon. Bye.